Mental health is so important because we have so many things happening all around us all the time. We are in a place where it's almost cool to be busy all the time, and we are constantly in contact. We're constantly connected, whether it be through social media or on our phones. We are always connected to the world, and that's more than just what is happening in your mind. Like, there are other people connecting with you too. We're constantly talking to people. There's constantly stuff happening, and mental health is so important because we have to disengage to re-engage. You have to be able to step back to come back. Yoga, physical, any type of exercise takes you out of what's happening in maybe the rest of your life and connects you to your body, connects you to just being present to whatever's happening, to your breath. In my practice, every time I come to my mat, even though I may be doing the same postures for the last 7 years, they feel different every time I come to my mat. And knowing that doing these same things, knowing that it can change any day, but having to be okay with that, the one day that maybe I cannot find balance or cannot find stillness, I'm letting go of that attachment, letting go of the end result. That sensation that I feel, that kind of letting go on my mat, allows me to let go of the things that's happening outside of my practice as well. If something doesn't happen the way that I thought it was going to or hoped it to be, letting go of that expectation. Once class begins, you have a room packed of people. We don't know each other, we don't know anything about each other, but we can all ground down and connect to our breath. The physical practice that we do, the asana practice that we do, moving through, is just one part of yoga. The physical asanas is moving us towards a place of stillness, moving us towards meditation. And that's not necessarily meaning to feel like really happy or you reach this place of absolute joy, just finding a sense of stillness. I think just holding space for someone, and in that sense, like meeting people where they're at, not trying to put any labels on them, judgments on them. We can listen, but that does not necessarily mean we can relate. And that's okay. It's okay to not be able to say, I know exactly how you feel, I know exactly what you're doing, but just listen to what someone has to say.
Some of the barriers that I think are present in addressing mental illness are cultural barriers, really. I think that each culture and cultural group and individual carries with them their own sense of what is appropriate in terms of mental health. And it's important to be able to have a conversation with clients about where they're coming from in terms of their past experience around mental health issues, to get a sense of all the values and judgment that they're bringing into the session themselves. I think that one of the most important things in the clinical setting is the idea of cultural humility. And so a lot said around the idea of cultural competence, but in many ways the idea of competence suggests that there's a finality to that process, whereas cultural humility inherently is around the acquiring of knowledge of different cultures and their attitudes towards mental health as a process. And that as a clinician, we're continually growing. And so in that, the very first step of the cultural humility process is constant self-evaluation and self-criticism as a clinician, always being able to assess what my own judgments and biases are that I'm bringing into the work. And the other piece is to be able to convey a balanced power dynamic in the clinical setting as well. Yes, I come in with a background and training in clinical psychology and a set of knowledge and skills that they might not have access to, but they're coming in as experts in their own life. And so it's about us figuring out how we can bring all of our strengths to the situation to help them achieve some gain clinically. I think that every counselor here in their individual work will will strive for cultural humility. And the keys there are really conveying to the client that their perspectives are valid, that their beliefs around mental health and all their aspects of their identity are real to them, and that that's the starting point for making change if the client wants to.
We've been confronted a few times after a poem and been told about, like, from people, like, their personal experience. They've been like, man, like, this has happened to me too, like, and I think the thing that makes us, like, so approachable is that I don't think we talk to them any differently. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't even like them. Like, we talk to these people as if they're just people, as if they're just our friends. And I also think that, like, if, like, we were in a situation where someone was panicking or someone was freaking out about whatever was happening to them, I think, again, we would confront it in a very, like, not a combative way. Like, you can't be angry at someone for their emotions, like, and never, ever, I think, invalidate someone for their emotions. That's, like, my big thing, is, like, if someone says they feel a certain way, it's not up to someone else to be like, no, that doesn't make any sense, or that's stupid, or that's silly. It's like, you don't know what that person is going through, and so I feel like having that in mind while speaking to this person is important. I think we were inspired to write this based on our own experience in certain relationships, or just witnessing it a lot. Like, the kind of the romanticism of mental illness is present everywhere. Like, you see it on Brandy Melville t-shirts, like, stressed, depressed, well-dressed. Like, it literally exists everywhere, where it's like a cool fashion statement to be mentally ill, which I don't think made sense to us.
Yeah, because it's not cool. It's not fun.
It's not a trend.
It's not, no. It's not hip and indie. It sucks.
Our poem, Spilled Milk. Do you cry over spilled milk?
Brush your teeth when you get nervous.
Cringe when people hug you?
Throw up after receiving a compliment.
Do you sing at night to keep yourself together?
Do you shake, 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 senora?
If so, we are your sort of a person. The sort of person who's the kind of problematic they'd go to the Anxiety Olympics and
leave because the opening ceremony was just too overwhelming.
We're a little overwhelming, yes, but if you find
severe depression,
a constant need for reassurance,
and overall mental instability
sex you well, you can kiss our scars any day.
as long as you floss at least 3 times.
And are comfortable hiding in a corner. We will even let you fix us.
Let you tell us we're okay.
Accept your apologies like they helped.
He told me I'm beautiful.
Said my sadness was pretty. I'm cured. My insecurities are gone.
I threw away my bottle of Prozac because
His love is my drug. He even said my eyes were like the ocean.
Because they're blue?
No, because I've been crying for the past 3 hours.
He said I had a rotten bod.
Where do you work out?
I don't. I just can't eat because I might be allergic to everything.
We are so cute,
Right? Cute like a monster.
Destructive like its teeth.
You can love us if you want to.
Try and help us if you need to, but we aren't broken.
The scotch tape on my heart is there for a reason.
The palpitations and the panic aren't yours to play with. Our lips are not made of caution tape. We shouldn't have to label ourselves danger. There is no prize waiting for you after each kiss.
No certificate that says you've made it through the fire.
We are not a problem. You do not have to solve us.
I am a person.
Not an illness.
Stop wearing our minds like an accessory.
Love us with our sadness, not for it. And just so you know,
We're not crying because the milk spilled.
we're crying 'cause the glass broke.
Thank you.